Within the first 18 months, we were able to get it to $5 million revenue in that time frame. So 18 months is our kind of magic number. So I like it.
If it doesn't happen in 18 months,
I double down.
Oh, you double down. You don't dip out.
Nope, we double down. We like, okay, we didn't do something right. Let's figure it out. Because when I started, there was no internet.
Faxes.
I was running a real estate auction company. I can tell you exactly where I was standing, looking at the fax, waiting for it to come in. I'm counting the properties on the auction because I didn't know how many it was. I'm getting kicked in the teeth right now because those people that subscribe to watch the podcast with Cody Sanchez and Chris Voss, they're not tuning in to watch me do education. So I'm really getting kicked in. So I'm kind of loving it because I'm starting all over and I'm doing what I want to do.
Forget chasing single-family rentals. Let's build commercial portfolios. Collect the best insights and information from commercial real estate experts and industry heavyweights on this episode of the Rent Stew podcast.
What's going on, guys? We are live, Rent Stew podcast, here at the CREI Summit, Palm Desert 2025. If you are a lover of investing or you're trying to learn how to invest in commercial real estate, development, multifamily, all that good stuff, guess what? I'm bringing you some of the best minds in commercial real estate that are all here live at the CREI Summit. And today, I get the pleasure of meeting Joe Killinger. We talked offline. Joe, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
But before I get into what we were talking about offline, Joe's you're a partner in Commercial Brokers Inc.
International.
Yep. International.
Yep.
You've invested in multiple projects, done multiple deals. Give us a quick little rundown.
Yeah, so I invest in a few things. So I have Commercial Brokers International. I like to invest in companies and then help grow them.
Yep.
You'll meet my business partner, George Pino.
Is Corey also one of your?
No, he's on.
Oh,
he's part of our affiliate network.
Okay.
He's part of our affiliate network.
You're getting the whole crew.
Yeah, you're getting everybody.
Yeah.
It's because they're some of the best in the industry. Yeah. That's what we really look for. You find the best people, you can really build a business. So partners with George Pino and Commercial Brokers International. We have Commercial Real Estate Affiliate Network, which we brought a client to the United States from New Zealand, and it was all fine and good when they want to work with our brokerage in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And then they wanted to move across the country. And at the time, we didn't have the capability. So we ended up losing that client. And so I thought, well, I got to join an affiliate network. But then I called the affiliate networks and I found out what they cost. Now, I don't know if you know what they cost or not, but it's expensive. I'll just leave it at that. It's crazy. So we created a commercial real estate affiliate network because this was in the middle of COVID and I had a lot of time on my hands. So I started getting that all set up. And now we have 24 members across the United States, and they're all independent commercial real estate brokerages. That are, most of them are full service, some of them are not, but we set it up to where the fee structure is if I send somebody like Corey a referral, then I just get a referral fee back, no other costs involved. It allows us to compete with the big boys. That's why we do it, and it's working brilliantly. And then we have Icon Capital Advisors. It's a commercial real estate mortgage company.
Okay,
so we have that.
George is talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So we've got a few companies. We've launched other companies. We had three Commercial Brokers International's in the group, but we had a couple other companies. Within the first 18 months, we were able to get it to $5 million revenue in that time frame. So 18 months is our kind of magic number. So I like it.
If it doesn't happen in 18 months,
I double down.
Oh, you double down. You don't dip out.
Nope, we double down. We like, okay, we didn't do something right. Let's figure it out.
So I want to, since we're here at CREI Summit, obviously the kind of the focus of what we're talking about is social media and technology and AI and all these things. You've been involved in, roughly $1 billion. That's one with a B, $1 billion worth of transactions, deals, things like that.
Yeah.
Over that time span, how has, technology and some of the, SaaS and things like that, how has that either, helped or hindered your ability?
Helped completely.
Okay. I had a feeling you'd say that.
Yeah, because when I started, there was no internet.
Faxes?
Yeah, we were still doing it.
Do you remember when they had fax machines?
I can tell you where I was standing the time. So I was running a real estate auction company. I can tell you exactly where I was standing, looking at the fax, waiting for it to come in. I'm counting the properties on the auction because I didn't know how many it was. Every time they would beep, beep, I'm counting it. 1, 2, 3. how many properties. We got up to 60 properties in the first auction that we ever did. And so, and we had the little Mac, which probably worth something now, right? The little tall, skinny one.
Yeah.
We were doing 600 properties a year on that little thing. And George ran the closing side. I did the marketing side. George did the closing side. I don't know how he did it. I honestly think, how did we close that many properties, 600, 700 properties a year? We did that for over 5 years. And I don't know how he kept all that straight. And his wife, Wendy, I don't know if you've met her yet or not, she was our escrow officer. And I could call her any given time and say, hey, what's going on with this file? We didn't have computers.
No.
It was paper.
Well, yeah.
Most of it she'd have to rattle off the top.
Filing
oh, yeah.
Filing
Filing cabinets.
How long do you have to
walls?
how long do you have to keep these paper files? Like now,
5
I literally have our all,
everything.
like Google Drive and Monday.com
and
all
of it.
Yeah.
So that's how we started, and then you got to think about the way it's evolved. For us with Commercial Brokers International, I can, when we had a situation with Commercial Brokers International where we had an employee that she was receptionist.
This video is sponsored by SiteCRE.com, the smart site submittal platform for tenants, landlords, and developers. Site streamlines the entire site submittal process, from custom AI-powered submission portals to a tenant-seeking site marketplace that makes expansion fast, efficient, and targeted. At Hungry Investments, we use sites to validate sites we already control, target locations for specific tenants, and even identify tenants actively looking in trade areas where we're doing our due diligence. It's become an invaluable tool for our growth, and it can do the same for you. Check out SitesCRE.com, where smart growth starts.
And I'd been reading about internet, SEO, and all that. And she ended up getting married. She goes, okay, I'm going to go have babies. And we're like, okay. And I'm in Texas running one of our tech companies that we ended up selling off. But I called George and said, I think this is a real opportunity for us. Let's get somebody to come in and really show us how to do that. So we hired Craig McIlvain, who I just was texting a little bit ago, to come in, and he had his degree from USC, and it was psychology of marketing, and it was brilliant. I was so confused. He would talk to me, my head would spin. I'd say, "Yeah, I got it. I have no idea what this guy's talking about," and so he set everything up for us. And that's how we started. Next thing you know, we're working our SEO. And this has been 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
Or pretty close, 20 years ago. And so we were working on that all along. And now we don't use paid ads, but, we're number 2 or 3 on the list. Number 1 below keywords. The paid ad. Yeah, keywords, all of it. And so it works. And it's driving business.
People find you and they go to your website and they
reach out,
opt in, or call directly.
Yeah, it's been amazing. And I think with AI, the way it's coming, I just don't think, if you're thinking about getting into commercial real estate, there's never been a better time to get in.
Oh, yeah.
I think if you're new and you understand the market, as long as you have the knowledge, you got to make sure you have the knowledge, because you can do all the marketing in the world. And if you draw people in and you don't know the market, then you're SOL. But I think if you're going to go into a marketplace and you're new and you're up against somebody in that marketplace that all they do is cold call and all they do is network, you're putting content out, you're doing proof stacking, you're writing articles and blogs, and you're putting content out regularly, you will take over that marketplace. It may take a little while, but you will take over that marketplace.
Consistency is king.
Yeah, that's the thing, consistency and understanding who you're marketing to, because there's something that I started doing a few weeks ago, because I'm very fortunate. So I put a lot of content out on my YouTube video, and a lot of it is just being in the office with new and experienced agents. And I ask them some of the stuff, I've listened to them and I hear some of the stuff they're talking about, and I'm sitting in a meeting with them and I could see my point wasn't really getting across. I said, okay, I want you to have this mindset. If you were a client in your marketplace, what would your perception of you be?
It's kind of like the question that people ask, if you died today, what would you want your eulogy to be?
Yeah, exactly. So what is your perception of you? And the blank looks, but it's really right. It's like, if you're marketing to this market, what do they think of you?
Yeah.
Do they know you, first of all?
Or do you know who you're marketing?
Exactly. That's another. Do you know what you should be sending them? So it's kind of taking yourself, because, we do this stuff and we're always thinking about, does it look good? Does it look great? When people that are reading your content, they don't give a damn. They want the information.
What is
if you're bringing value? Yeah. What's it going to do for me?
Yeah.
That's really what it is. And I've been doing this for quite a few years, and I'm just pivoting on my YouTube channel. I was doing all these kind of podcasts. I was interviewing other people, and then I was going on and I see all these the people I was interviewing, they'd been on all these other podcasts and asking the same things. And I'm like, well, and I just didn't feel like I was bringing value. And so there's a way around that now that I figured it out, but I started changing my path. Like I had pretty good growth, I had Chris Voss, Cody Sanchez, had some pretty good people.
So Chris Voss,
yeah,
I read that book.
Yeah, it's a great book.
I love it.
Yeah, you got to interview him. He's incredible.
Real quick, hold your thought. So, real funny story.
Yep.
I told you we had our this really nice podcast studio in our office in Phoenix.
Yep.
When we first built it, we had a guy named Sean Kelly. Have you ever heard Digital Social Hour?
Yeah, okay.
He did like 15 interviews before we filmed anything in it.
Yep.
And needed a studio, and we let him use our studio.
Oh, that's
Chris
amazing.
Voss came in there.
Yeah.
With Joe Polish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so freaking, Chris, you're talking to him,
he's so
calming.
He doesn't
like, dude.
That's why he's a hostage negotiator.
Yes, it was. Yeah. And so, but I look at him now. But so
so how'd you guys get your YouTube channel started?
Well,
what gave you the idea? Because you and I talked before we started filming, and I started ours because I went on YouTube and I literally found like 2 people. Like I can't, Ken told me to go check yours out.
Yep.
But it's not as easy to go search like on YouTube. No. Like you can type in things, but then you find people that you're like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. You'll find a lot of people that don't have any experience or just good at putting content in.
Yeah, so like we talked about, I found Tyler. Tyler's really good.
Yep, he is very good.
And then there was another guy, but he was more of a residential guy that happened to do a couple like Kentucky Fried Chicken deals or something, like that. And so it was all over the board.
Yeah.
How'd you get started?
Well, I started off because of, having Craig. I'm going to go back to Craig. He was talking about video. And so I thought, well, we had a tech company in Dallas, a real estate tech company. And I thought, let's try some of the video with that. And it was horrible.
Kind of on the forefront of the video.
Yeah, well, it was horrible.
But
I leave those videos up there.
A lot of it wasn't very good when it first started coming out.
Well,
the cameras have gotten better.
Like, everything's gotten a lot better, but I just didn't know what I was doing. But it still worked, I guess. But then when it came with the commercial real estate, I go, we got to get on video with commercial real estate. And so we started evolving. Then I started watching this guy, Stephen Bartlett. He was with Social Chain. He's a very young guy. He's on Dragon's Den in the UK. It's the Shark Tank.
Okay.
He has Diary of a CEO now.
Oh,
that's Stephen. Oh, yeah, I've been watching him with Social Chain.
So my guy's over here, Steve.
Yeah,
he says, please don't send me Diary of a CEO. We're not trying to edit like that yet. I'm like, can we do that intro?
He's pretty amazing.
Oh, those are
yeah. He's incredible.
What's his name?
Stephen Bartlett.
Okay, Stephen.
Yeah, and there's a few
known as Diary of a CEO.
Yeah. He's very good. So I was watching him. I'm like, this guy's really good. I think I could learn how to do this. So I started doing the podcast format where I'd have some people come in, or I'd have on Zoom. I'd have people Zoom, and then that's kind of where I was like, it wasn't my passion.
Yeah.
I didn't make it very long in school because I ran out of money, but to college, and I always want to be a teacher. And I'm doing that, and I'm talking to my sister one night, and she said, you really are going a different path with this YouTube channel than I thought you would, because I thought you could do more education. And that just kind of hit me. I'm like, oh, man, she's right. Because it got me looking at everything. So I started going on YouTube and looking at all these other podcasters. We're interviewing the same people.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought, well, that's, we're having the same questions. It's just the same thing over and over, which you can overcome that I know now.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you just got to go watch those videos and ask different questions, and then you can have much better content.
Yeah.
That just still wasn't the path I want. I want to get back to education because I'm in an office every day with real estate agents.
You're teaching them all the time.
Or learning from them in some cases too.
Absolutely.
Because some of the
teacher becomes a student.
Exactly. So I do a lot of listening. And so I thought, this is really the path. Now, I grew that channel up to be pretty good, and I'm getting kicked in the teeth right now because those people that subscribe to watch the podcast with Cody Sanchez and Chris Voss, they're not tuning in to watch me do education. So I'm really getting kicked in. So I'm kind of loving it because I'm starting all over and I'm doing what I want to.
This video is brought to you by fax-era.com, the smart site submittal platform for tenants, landlords, and developers. From AI-powered site submission portals to a tenant-seeking site marketplace, Sites makes expansion fast, efficient, and targeted. Check them out at sitecre.com. That's SYTESCRE.com, and level up your site selection game. So how do you see it as evolving as you start heading down that, like, especially when it pertains to commercial real estate? Because hopefully the people. I mean, look, if you're not into commercial real estate and you're watching this, hey, I appreciate it and thank you. You must find it entertaining, but I'm gonna assume that anyone that comes across this is like, hey, I want to learn about ways that I can get involved or things that can make me better. So, like, from your standpoint, if they go check out Joe Killinger on YouTube, after this, and I'll put all the links, everything we talk about, I'll put the links in the description. But if they go find Joe Killinger and they see these videos of you and George and Cody and the inner, more podcast stuff, where's the evolution of what you're doing?
I would say it's not an evolution anymore. It's a restart.
Okay,
restart. It's a complete restart.
What's your plan?
I'm doing shorter videos right now, so I'm making it. It's to where you can really bite-sized videos. They're 5 or 6 minutes. Yeah. And I pick a topic that I think is very important for somebody. It could be a newer agent or it could be an experienced agent that really wants to grow their business. Okay. And what I'm learning,
did I see some on there, like marketing, like how to, get out and like market yourself to find clients and stuff?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just did one on how to get more listings.
Yeah, that's I think that's the one. Yeah.
And it's, I go out and I talk to our agents, what's working. And, them being part of Commercial Real Estate Influencer Summit, I pick up the phone and I'll call Ken. I go, hey, I got a question. What do we got here? Bob Nackle. I've called Bob and say, hey, Bob, I got a question for you.
Oh, Bob. Big BK.
You betcha. I ask. I'm not afraid to ask questions. So I gather all this information and then I put it out on the channel. And, it's not just for real estate people. It can be for investors. Yeah. It can be for somebody wanting to grow their business, because growing as a real estate agent, you're just growing a business. Mm-hmm. And, and I think that's what most people don't look at is like, they see shows like $1 Million Listing and all that, and they think, well, commercial real estate is going to be done the same. It's not. It's completely different. No. But it's all about growing that business. And it's no different than if you have a startup or a service of some kind. You're just growing a business. Yeah. It's the same thing. So I think that's probably why people outside of real estate are probably tuning in.
When we were driving here today from Phoenix, we were calling on a couple properties we had 4 hours in the car.
Yeah, plenty of time.
Yeah, and so Armando, who's my, one of my acquisition guys, he's like, well, what should I say if I get this guy on the phone? I'm like, here, you want to just listen? Mm-hmm. I was a broker for 25 years, so it's not that much. It's not that different in the sense that the perspective that you're coming from is different. Yeah. And so, but you're still, keep it simple. Yep. I think a lot of times I have the tendency of
overthinking it. Yeah, me too. Yeah. Me too. Yeah. Another thing, I always think that, somebody understands that, and I find out, no, they don't, because in our industry, and I don't know about when you were starting off, and this is why I think this organization, Commercial Real Estate Influencer Summit, is so important, the lack of training in our industry. That's something I'm really
So I'm a CCIM.
Yeah.
And I know SIOR's. Yep. CCIM's here. SIOR is a big sponsor here. Yep. I tell everybody, and I got to get on Armando's butt because he's been with me now for 3 years and he hasn't taken 101 yet. But
come on, Armando.
That is the number one thing. Like, if you want to learn, you have to have a baseline foundation for how to learn. CCIM is fantastic at teaching you all those, kind of broad areas. Yeah. And then, but like you said, outside of that, that was the only thing that we could find, when I got started, that, okay, I knew I could count on going here and learning this.
Yeah. Other than that, because so few brokers actually train. Now, our company, Commercial Brokers International, George is training every morning for the new agents, 8:30 in the morning, 5 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. We sit down with them at 5 o'clock and go, okay, what's working for you? What's not? Do you have appointments? Okay, you don't. Let's take a look at that. And then we try and analyze to help them. Almost every other brokerage company I know does not do that. The return on that we putting that time into these agents, come back tenfold because they haven't, when they're getting on the phones, they know what to talk about. They're not, I mean, if you go into most of these companies, as you know, they're just going, okay, here's a phone, call this list. And hey, are you thinking about buying or selling property? No. Okay. You're not building a business.
Mm-hmm.
You're just looking.
You're just creating a call center.
Yeah. That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
So you got to take it from I got to build a business. And so that comes from an education. So we don't even put anybody on the phones for the first week or two, because before, let's say if you're going to do multifamily in Santa Monica, I'm going to sit down with you after week number 1 and go, okay, how many properties are on the market? What's the average days on the market? What's the average list price? How's the sales price compared to that list price? On and on and on, ask them all these questions. If they can't answer them, I'm like, okay, so I'll see you next Friday. Just learn it.
Go back.
Yeah.
Dig
learn
into
it.
the data.
Yeah. Really learn it. Because if they can get on it, once they learn all that and they do a cold call, because as you know, the longer the call lasts, you're building a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Typically when you're calling, hey, are you thinking about buying or selling? 30 seconds. If you can get a 2 or 3 minute conversation with somebody, and then you have another conversation with them that lasts just as long or longer in 3 weeks down the road,
yeah,
you're building a relationship. But you have to have the knowledge base to have that conversation. Otherwise, how do you start a damn business? And I think our industry really handcuffs our new people. And that's why our turnover rate is 87 to 92% after the first few years.
Mm-hmm.
They're not trained. They rely on mentoring. And if I mentor with you, my personality is completely different than yours. I don't know that the way you're mentoring me, you're mentoring for your personality, not mine, maybe.
Yeah.
So we need to, as an industry, really buckle down and start training our people. I think it's very important.
So you guys do all like asset classes, like
full service.
Full service.
Yep.
Is the type of stuff that you guys are doing like are you getting the ideas for the content that you're putting on your YouTube channel around like what you're doing for your trainings?
Yeah. So trainings.
Is that kind of like
pitches?
You're obviously you train them for
Yeah.
You've been training for a long time.
Yeah.
But is that like your testing ground?
Yeah, exactly. I test on our agents.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't tell them. Don't tell them.
Oh, that worked real well. They
let's
got 3 listings. Let's make a YouTube video.
The part that I just said about, what's your market think of you?
Yeah.
I came up with that in a class.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept it. And, we've had things that have missed, of course, but we tried different things. And I'm very fortunate. We've got such a great group of people. And, we've kissed a lot of frogs. So we don't have I think our turnover rate's in the 60s, low 60s.
Yeah.
But, because so many people think commercial real estate, it's long term, right? It takes you a while. You're not going to be closing the deal in 30 days.
Yeah.
It's months. And so a lot of people get in the industry. You can tell them, listen, it's going to be 8 months, 10 months. And then some of them just think, I'm going to do I'm good. I'll do it sooner. Well, it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
And so you really have to understand it. But I think it's important that, when you were getting into brokerage, you interviewed, how many interviews you go on before you picked a company?
So Tori was just on here and I was, talking to her about this. I knew I came from a commercial real estate family.
Oh, okay.
And so I knew I wanted to get into eventually in like investing in development, doing what I'm doing. So I was smart about it. I wasn't like, I'm just going to figure this out. I spent 20 years and 15 years and I worked for 2 of the largest developers.
Okay.
So I saw my parents and I was like, they didn't have any real formal training. My dad was a contractor, bought stuff, fixed it up, did well and figured it out on the fly.
Sure, yeah.
But I was like, he's buying like the, B-class strip centers and they're making good money, but who's doing the, Best Buy, Home Depot across the street?
Exactly.
I want to know how to do that.
Those
so
big deals.
I went and worked for 2 developers
Gotcha.
I worked for one for almost close to 10 years, and then I moved to Phoenix, and of course, it was right after the mortgage crisis. So tell me, that was
fun times. Yeah.
So I got, practiced my golf swing for a while.
I bet you did.
And then went to work for a big developer there and worked there for about 7 years.
Okay.
But I mean,
So you didn't do the conventional.
I didn't
go into a firm.
Never worked at like a CB or anything like that, but all my friends did.
Yeah.
And I was a runner at Marcus and Millichap for a summer.
So you got a taste of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what happens typically is, you'll go on a few interviews. Yes, very few questions. The brokerage will ask you all the questions, and you just, they shoot you an offer. Okay, I'll take it. if you want to get into the industry, I advise you to interview the company, the firm, just as much as they're interviewing you.
Yeah.
Because you want to know what you really get. This is the beginning of your career.
You have to feel the culture.
Yes, you do. In the education side of it. And you've got to feel all that. Who's going to be your mentor? Pick up the phone and call the people there and ask them, what's it really like there? And, I mean, as much as you can, look at reviews. You know, find out what you can before signing on that dotted line, because this is your career.
Yeah.
This is a very important decision.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of young people just think, oh, this is a brokerage firm. I'll go in here and do this. Well, every day you're in there not making money.
Yep.
You're getting that closer to have to go get a paying job.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so make the right choice.
So being that we're at CREI Summit, right? Tech, all that kind of,
you betcha.
Social media, all that stuff. Can you share a couple of your favorite tech tools? Obviously, YouTube's your favorite platform.
Well, YouTube's my favorite platform.
I like it too.
Yeah, you know, this pivot has been such an education. I actually had to kind of relearn it, because the way I'm doing it is completely different than what I was doing just a few months ago.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of relearning everything, and I'm really
coming up with hooks.
Yeah, hooks, sub hooks, all that. I had no idea about sub hooks, and you know, it's a very interesting process. But Resquared is another one that Kyle and Sarah turned me on to for a retail agent. So I don't do day-to-day. We have the other companies that help operate those. But Resquared is one that our agents are really having some good luck with.
Cool.
For the retail guys.
Okay.
And they love it. They're getting a couple good solid leads a week from it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And that's for retail brokers.
Retail brokers.
Awesome.
Yep.
So if you're a retail broker, you want to
check out Resquared.
You want to work with like the restaurants. Like I love retail, single tenant net lease. I'm sure me and George will geek out on that, because I like driving down the street and being, first of all, I'm a Starbucks junkie, but being like, oh yeah, I built that Starbucks. I did that, I put that tenant over there.
Now, are you going to be doing Kyle and Sarah? You going to get him in?
No, we'll have to talk about that.
Oh yeah, no, you want to get him on too.
Okay, yeah. So outside of this, but obviously these are micro episodes, so I would love to come out to LA and meet with you guys and continue to build the relationship. And like I said, have you guys come to Phoenix, and
that'd be fun.
Figure out ways this is the funny thing, because people say, how are the numbers on your podcast? And I say, well, what numbers are we talking about? Because so far I'm starting to do, projects and deals with every single person that comes on here. So that's the magic in what we're doing. It's not about the views so much as
this is what I've learned is it used to be you had to be an influencer to really get good views, but there are people that have 100, 200 subscribers, and then they hit the right content and it goes viral. Yeah. So it's out there for everybody. It's just.
You ever hear about that book, 1,000 True Fans?
Never.
So it's like talks about you just need 1,000 people that your content really resonates with. Yeah. And they amplify it.
That's exactly it. We're so. I think I got addicted to it too, because I really wasn't that into when I was doing the podcasting. Yeah, I just wasn't that into it. I mean, I enjoyed it. I love meeting the people; they're incredible. But now I get behind the camera with the teaching, and
you're a teacher.
That's now I'm back.
I'm a talker.
Oh, okay,
So I love this. I'm thrilled with you.
Yeah, it's great, right?
And I can pick your brain.
Yeah, well, that's another thing I like is it allows me to talk to people, and I have a legitimate reason to call like Ken or Coy or Bob.
I have a hard time with the teaching because I feel like there's so much in my head sometimes. I start like rambling.
Oh yeah,
like overcomplicating. Because to me, I'm like, oh, this makes perfect sense. But then I'm like, I forget that somebody that doesn't know it is like, well, you just said like 5 things I never heard of before. Yeah, yeah. So.
It's tough. It's fun to do this, but.
So Joe, we'll definitely have to figure out a way to do a, follow up and dig into some more stuff. But, obviously you're on YouTube, but I want you to, let everyone know where they can find you. Like, where's the best place?
So, obviously I've got a website. It's joekillinger.co. And if you're getting into commercial real estate, I put a booklet together. It's free on the website. If you go to learning, it's your first 90 days in commercial real estate.
And we'll link all this stuff in the description.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first 90 days in commercial real estate, it'll email to you. It'll get you started. And then if you ever have questions about commercial real estate, I do a good amount of mentoring. I take calls a few a week, actually, and really try and help people turn their business around.
Awesome.
So, and then
Instagram, YouTube, Instagram.
It's all Joe Killinger.
And his name is in the title and in the description. We'll link all this stuff, so just look down below.
Yep.
Thank you so much, my man.
For having me on.
Guys, I appreciate you as always for watching the Rent Stew podcast. My name's Christian Cotta. If you're not subscribed to the Rent Stew podcast or to our YouTube channel, please go ahead, give us a like, smash that bell, right?
Yep.
And make sure you're subscribed. If you're seeing this on any other platform or you want to find us, Instagram, LinkedIn, all that good stuff, just go look up Hungry Investments. You can look up Christian Cotta. As always, rent is due, and stay hungry, my friends. If you made it this far through and you landed here, it means you're serious about making money in commercial real estate. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're not already following for more great commercial real estate, and check out this video or this video. As always, stay hungry, my friends.